and welcome to The Extra Mile. I'm Linda Boudreau. Our guest today is Nathan RAFFEL. He is the owner of BIBI'S Patisserie, which is a new bakery new like 6 months or less, that has opened up here in Lafayette. We're going to find out about them. Welcome, Nathan. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I guess, I haven't talked to somebody that's had a bakery in a long time, and you don't really strike me as a baker. So let's just kind of start with what the patisserie is all about and what you do over there.
What the patisserie is all about for me is making people down here realize that healthy food does not have to taste like rocks.
Okay, well, that's well said and simply put. And when you say people down here, you're from here, so you can talk.
Yes, I mean, it's all, everywhere I go up, go around, it's rice and gravy, it's gumbo, it's Mesh's donuts, and I love them. Don't get it wrong. I love a Mesh's donut, but there's a reason that we've got so many heart hospitals down here.
You think maybe we're not the healthiest eaters on the block?
I wasn't.
Are you now? Have you changed? Changed?
I eat a lot healthier.
Okay. And I guess, I'm going to go ahead and say this early on. Nathan is not a doctor.
I am not a doctor.
But he is opinionated.
And semi-educated.
So and based on your opinions and your semi-education, you've decided to make your bakery a little bit different, huh?
Yeah.
And so what are you doing over there?
What we're doing is we're not using traditional sugar. We're using only things that can be eaten by diabetics, things that are low on the glycemic index. And the glycemic index was developed by the University of Sydney. They have a diabetes research center. And it's a ranking of how fast a given food that you eat actually spikes your blood sugar.
Okay.
And so different things will spike your blood sugar levels at different rates. One of the reasons that the sweeteners we use are composed mostly of fructose, which a lot of it gets a bad rap because of high fructose corn syrup.
But there's more to it than that.
Well, that's high fructose. It's a concentrated form. Fructose in its monosaccharide form is not processed by insulin in the body, which is why it doesn't trigger diabetes. Okay,
so kind of help me imagine this. So there are different kinds of fructoses, right?
Yeah, and just like there's different kinds of sugars.
Okay, and fructose is another kind of sweetener, is it?
Yes, it's just an alternative sweetener. It's one that, because it's not processed by insulin, doesn't spike your blood sugar as quickly. Insulin is a really fast-acting protein. Whenever glucose gets into your blood, that insulin just jumps on it.
Okay.
And it's something that's released very rapidly and distributed throughout the body.
So if you're making your products using a different kind of sweetener, what's that going to do to the body?
Well, for one, not causing a blood sugar spike is like having sweets without the nap. That's one of the main things. You get the itis. If you eat something that just spikes your blood sugar and you feel all strung out, and then 10 minutes later.
Oh, so that's where my crash is coming from.
Yeah, it's coming from from a shock to your blood sugar levels.
Okay, so it's really not very healthy to eat these products that will cause your blood sugar to spike. Yeah, it's not good for us.
No, it's not, because your body is always trying to maintain homeostasis, and your body will maintain homeostasis. But it's how much energy is your body going to have to expend to maintain homeostasis.
Okay.
And that has a lot to determine how you feel in everyday life.
Okay, so, and I guess, I've heard other people say this, one of the ways to monitor whether you're doing things right or not in terms of eating and exercising and all that is to monitor how you feel on a regular basis. Kind of just like to do a little body check-in. Right now I'm feeling good. What have I done to feel good? Right now I'm feeling bad. What have I done that's making me feel sluggish? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, everyone knows their own body, and everyone's body chemistry is different. And if there's one thing I've learned, having a bakery, especially one that caters to people's allergies, is that there's someone who is allergic to everything. I don't care if you think no one could be allergic to that. I promise you, someone is allergic to it.
Well, I came in today complaining because I was driving through the sugarcane smoke, on my way back from home, and it's like, it's really, we're all kind of feeling these different kinds of substances that are in the air and food and all around.
There's a lot of something that people have known really for years is that you can absorb minerals and nutrients transdermally, which means through the skin. There are creams for people who can no longer swallow or take pills,
right?
To deliver those nutrients. Actually, one of them was founded by a local doctor, Barb Briere. And,
really?
Yeah, it's called Sea Blue Vitamins and Minerals. She makes transdermal vitamin and mineral products. But if you can absorb vitamins and minerals through your skin,
you're going to get toxins through your skin too, is that? That's kind
I
of.
don't. I'm not a
You're
doctor.
not a doctor. We're just.
I can't tell you the science of how it works, but
But it makes sense.
yeah, I mean, if one thing's going in, I mean, there ain't no keypad the toxin has to type in a password it doesn't know. I mean, if it gets there, it's going in.
It only makes sense. So why does someone who is health conscious, as you are, why did you choose a bakery rather than, say, a health food store or a salad bar?
I guess it all started really when we found out about celiac disease. It made us really set on baking.
About what?
Celiac disease, a genetic disease that makes you allergic to wheat.
Okay.
Or rather to gluten, which is a protein found in wheat, barley, rye, spelt, and kamut.
Okay.
And what it is celiac disease means that whenever you consume gluten, the enzyme in your body that digests the gluten has a byproduct that is too acidic for the villi in your small intestine. Now, your small intestine, imagine, is a tube. It's a pipe. And its job is to absorb all the nutrients that have been broken down into a fluid through all your stomach acids and your pancreatic enzymes and your gallbladder. Now, whenever all that passes through this pipe, the whole pipe is lined with little finger-like projections, which are called villi. The purpose of this is to increase surface area. Say you're trying to filter a pipe. If that water is just passing through, the only chemicals or anything that's going to come out of there is going to be whatever touches the edge of the pipe in some minimal amount. That's why people place filters. It creates a surface area so you can take out all the tiny particles. Now what happens if you burn away those villi and they're no longer usable, then your body is not absorbing the proper amount of nutrition. Now once again, just like a pregnant mother, say a pregnant woman is not getting enough calcium, that baby will get its calcium, but it's going to take it from mom.
Right.
If you're not ingesting nutrients, your body will start to take them from itself.
And
that's what makes celiac disease so dangerous.
Have we known about it for a while? Because I have just been hearing about gluten-free. I was telling you lately, all of a sudden it came out of, it seemed like nowhere. You see packaging now, gluten-free. You go to restaurants.
The diagnosis has become a lot more certain now.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, one of the main reasons that celiac disease is often swept under the rug is because there's no money in it for doctors.
Okay.
Whenever someone is diagnosed with celiac, the only real way to treat it is to change your diet. There is no surgery. There is no prescription medication with a kickback. There's no financial incentive, which there should never be a financial incentive, for a diagnosis.
Right.
But the reality of it is, it affects it. I was at a celiac support group the other day over at Jolie's Louisiana Bistro. They have a celiac support group there once a month, led by their head chef Manny Argello, who is also a very, very knowledgeable and great gluten-free resource, as well as the only gluten-free kitchen in the city besides
I have
ours.
to say, there's some really good food there.
Yeah, but I was at a support group over there, and there was probably 12 or 13 people. 4 of them had their gallbladders removed unnecessarily before the doctor finally ruled out, oh, well, your gallbladder's out and you're still having the same symptoms, you've got to have celiac disease.
Okay, so it's kind of, it gets diagnosed as a process of elimination, sometimes after surgery.
It doesn't need to. For a doctor who's conscious of the symptoms of it, it gets diagnosed with a simple blood test.
So what are the
blood
symptoms?
test.
What are the symptoms? What do people need to be aware of?
An upset stomach after eating anything that contains gluten.
Okay.
I mean, gluten it's in wheat, barley, and rye. Most of what we're going to find it in is wheat. But, wheat is used in so many products.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So that's part of why then when you started thinking about a bakery, wheat is in most flour. We've got wheat flour as our most common flour, I guess.
It really came from we just wanted to bake for the diabetics and the celiacs, for the people who are sick that everyone else forgot about, because there's just this general attitude in the food service industry, well, you're sick, screw you.
Yeah, nothing for you, no treats for you.
That's not how we feel. We feel like you're sick, okay, whatever. We'll switch out some ingredients and make something that you can enjoy.
So Nathan, is it hard to find the ingredients that you need? I mean, are they more expensive and harder to find?
Yes, they're, when you're shopping for a regular flour, it's really easy to find high gluten flour. It's very, very cheap. High gluten content winter wheat is government subsidized. It's cheap, cheap, cheap. There is no government subsidy for arrowroot or for brown rice flour. not for xanthan gum, for tapioca flour, and so many of the things that we use. Also, we buy them organic. They're also non-genetically modified. And, whenever you...
Your market just, I mean, your supply list just got smaller and smaller.
But it's worth it. I mean, there's some things that you can't get organic and non-genetically modified and preservative-free yet.
Like what? What can't you get?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I mean, we just recently we found non-genetically modified organic jalapenos. We found those about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so we've started carrying some jalapeno products. But, for most food service size, fruits or vegetables or foods, it's really difficult to find a pairing of those.
Yeah, so you have to make part of your challenge then is you've made the commitment to seek out the sources, huh?
And one of the really cool things that I've been able to witness, through being in this just this long, is that this year, about two out of the three largest wheat growers in the nation are cutting back half their production to do brown rice flours and xanthan gum.
Because I know that there's definitely a pendulum shift. We are becoming much more aware of what we need to do to stay healthy and what we can do to stay healthy. And a lot of this is market driven. And so if people are asking for products, producers will make them.
It's entirely market driven. It has to be. Yes, is it more expensive to do what we're doing? Yes, but if no one ever creates the demand for quality food, there will never be quality food.
And we have a right, I think, to quality food. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
I think you're right, but I think that people have to ask for it because I think that people do not ask for it. We do have a right, but someone else also has a right to feed us what they want if we're not willing to stand up for our own right.
That's true.
And
That's true.
I think that's just as big of a problem as people are not vocal. There's
they're not informed. They're not informed.
Exactly. Science education, is education in general, from my experience, and it was often unintegrated and unapplicable. And you memorize and regurgitate bits and pieces of information, but you're often failed to be instructed in a manner that you can carry into your daily life. Or
a manner that even involves and intrigues you, huh? So you got interested in nutrition, I'm taking it, and decided to do the bakery, but there must be somebody in your life that bakes, because unless it's you.
My mama bakes.
Okay.
My mama bakes.
So does she bake for the bakery?
No, she does not. But she bakes for me and my wife, because now that we own a bakery, no one bakes for us.
You bake for all of us now.
Does
your wife bake?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife is the pastry chef of the bakery. She's figured out how to do it all, and she's amazing.
See, I think that's a challenge, because she's taken traditional recipes and had to convert them using different kinds of flour, which I think would be different, using different kinds of sweeteners. I mean, what else do you have to change?
I mean, you have to change the proportions. You have to change the cooking times. We hand make all of our ingredients. We cannot use mixers. A few turns too much with a fork, and the dough will become flat and unusable. It's a very, very fine line. It's a really skilled process. And that's one of the obstacles we've had is training people, and it takes a while to become proficient at. I mean, gluten-free baking is an entirely separate trade skill from baking.
Yeah, it's got to be different. How did you learn? How did y'all learn?
We just did it. We made those vegan muffins a long time ago, and
how did the vegan muffins come about? Because it really is a great story.
Oh, what happened for us was we had a friend who had a vegan girlfriend, and we were making dessert for her, and we made a vegan muffin, and it also happened to be gluten-free, and she really liked it, we really liked it, and so we started selling it at some of our small little muffin sales when we'd go share a booth with my mom, and we wound up disclosing that it was gluten-free, and we just received an overwhelming response. It was just everyone said, my parents got it, my cousins got it, I have it, my daddy has it, my mama has it, my sister, my brother, my friend has it, and we were just wowed. It was this problem that all of a sudden, everyone had seen gluten-free on a package somewhere.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But it wasn't real to Hannah and I. And we realized that sitting right next to those muffins was this other big batch of muffins we had made that these people couldn't have. and that why not? Why, whenever we could make a muffin just as good gluten-free, and we do it all that way, so that we made food that everyone could eat. And yeah, it's just I fail to see the reason in people who prepare food any other way. Because if you want to talk about market potential, there's no better way to grow your market than to spend a little bit of extra thought, preparation, and money on the front end to broaden your market on the back end.
And to provide, what I'm thinking is a quality product or a quality service and a niche. You have a niche. So you've been open about 5.5, 6 months.
Yes, ma'am.
You're young to have ventured into something so unusual, risky. This is a food town, Nathan. This is a town with some amazing bakeries. I'm thinking of about 3 of them just sitting here,
Yeah.
There's some competition out there. So what did it take to jump into those waters for you and your wife?
My wife's food is amazing. I stand by it. I think that my wife is the best baker and cook that I know. And I'm biased, but there's an awful lot of folks who agree with me. My wife does what she does incredibly well, and we both have an extreme aversion to working for other people.
Okay.
And so for us, some couples can't work together. We do. We love it. We are best friends. And this is our baby.
So this works for you. So are you in there too, baking, or what's your role in all
Yeah, I'd been running the register. I used to help my wife bake, and we just recently lost one of our crew members, and so I'm back there helping out a little bit more now.
So you're also hiring people. So it's not just the 2 of you in there.
No, it isn't. It's not just the 2 of us in there. We're writing paychecks to people, and that's really weird.
That's very scary, isn't it? It's one thing at your age to try to get a paycheck, but now to be making paychecks to other people, it's like, wow.
I'm sure some people, like, if Donald Trump has kids, that they think that, they'll grow up and have people working for them. But, I didn't. I grew up building Legos, not thinking that I was going to be building a business or anything.
Yeah, this was not your dream, huh?
No,
or at least not this business. How does somebody get into, open a small business like you've done? And I ask that of a lot of our entrepreneurs because I think it's a very daunting undertaking.
It is a very daunting undertaking. The climate in the country is not nearly as business friendly as it was 20 or 30 years ago. There are absurd, absolutely absurd regulations. There's a piece of state legislature that made an addendum to the Board of Health Code that all food service establishments in Lafayette Parish have to have a 125-gallon grease trap minimum. No exemptions offered, no nothing like that. So I got blindsided by a $2,000 expense. About $1,200 for the grease trap, and about $800 in labor. Putting it in. This giant, massive thing. It's huge. It's about a 6 foot by 6 foot by 5 foot rectangle of solid concrete that I had to tear up half my backyard for. My backyard is still not put back together, which could be seating for my business. And I don't fry anything. I don't use any grease. Literally the only grease or fat that enters our drain is whatever portion of the bowl residue is coconut oil or butter or what. It's very challenging. There's a lot of hurdles. You wait for, the city, the people down there are so nice, but they're overworked. They have too much on their plate, and so a process that's supposed to take 2 to 4 weeks might take 8 to 12 weeks, and you just have to eat the rent of whatever location you secured until you get whatever permit is necessary. And it's a really difficult thing to just eat 3 months rent on a building you can't make any revenue off.
Exactly, because you got to be eating while you're eating that rent.
Yeah. It's scary, but if you have something that you believe in and you're decent with numbers, you don't have to be some math whiz. Just it's all minus and subtraction and a little bit of multiplication. If the numbers add up, if you can figure out how to turn your niche into a way to provide for you and your family, that I think that there's room for everybody in an economy where no one's too greedy. You take out one Walmart and you make room for 30 or 40 other businesses.
So it's the give and take of all of it. And so for you guys, now that you've got your doors open, is this where you want, where are your doors, by the way? Where are you located?
My doors are on the 1321 West Pinhook. It's right across Pinhook from the CVS, right next to Cafe Vermilionville.
Okay.
It's in the old Back in Time photography building.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
Are they're not there anymore?
No, they are not there.
Okay, so in and out is right there. That's a.
Yeah, we're in the Bermuda Triangle of Pinhook.
That's a trick, and you know what that means,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yes.
So would you recommend this kind of endeavor to a friend of yours?
No. I would not recommend starting a retail food establishment to my worst enemy. You will work an ungodly amount for nothing at first, and it's scary.
But the good thing is your repeat customers and people coming back and helping, I think, to change the way that we eat and the way that we approach food. And talking to you earlier and during the show, it's like that's part of your goal, huh? It's to educate us, to help us find better ways,
there's so
more
many
responsible
simple
ways.
things about food that we've been lied to. You know, I mean, the food pyramid that we got, at least when I was in school.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, that's like a subsidy pyramid. It's not a.
Okay.
You know, what's the best for food manufacturers if you eat, and you know, that's just not really how your diet should be composed. You know, I mean, it's just we've really been misled, and you know, I don't know if it's because people didn't have the proper information or whether it was intentional. You know, it's really irrelevant, but there's just some simple core facts about food that people need to realize, just to be aware of. You know,
Like what?
Alkalinity and acidity. You know, the human blood pH is slightly alkaline. It's, you know, it ranges from 7.25 to 7.45. You know, that's the human homeostasis. But yet, much of what we consume is acidic. Now, our body will right itself. It will stay alkaline. It has to for us to survive. If your blood pH goes outside of that range, you die. But, you know, what is the energetic cost? And, you know, the effects of acidosis are, I mean, it ties into so many things. I recommend everyone look it up. It's ACIDOSIS. You know, whenever you consume too much acid in your body, that's what leads to inflammation. And inflammation is the common string amongst the 6 leading killers of Americans.
So this is.
You know, and it's something no one talks about the pH of food.
But it's something that if we educated ourselves, we could manage it pretty easily if we were willing to make the changes.
Yeah.
Are the changes? Have you made the changes?
I'm working on them. I mean,
is it hard to do that?
It costs a little bit more. It's not as expensive as everyone says.
Okay.
What it costs more of is time.
Okay.
You know, you have to be willing to prepare food for yourself. I mean, that's the
None of
bottom line.
that prepared stuff.
You know, there is some good prepared stuff.
Okay, good. I'm
but,
glad.
You know, I mean, it's not hopeless in that degree, but you know, you have to be willing to spend some time.
Okay, and again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat things, because we're not all the same, you know.
And your body will tell you. I cannot tell you. I can't tell anyone. You know what is right for your body, but your body will not lie to you if you listen to it.
And that's probably the most powerful thing that we can tell anybody. But in the last couple of minutes, Nathan, again, the name of your place is BIBI'S Patisserie.
BIBI'S Patisserie.
I've been practicing. And why BIBI'S?
Bibi is the Arabic term of endearment. Really, it's Habibi, but Kha isn't very anything friendly. No one likes ing.
No, it's not.
So we just call it BB's, and that's Bibi is what we call each other. You know,
Okay.
it's she's my Bibi and I'm hers.
So this endeavor is really a partnership in every sense.
In
of the
all
word.
ways, it would never in a million years be possible. You know, I mean, my wife is my better half, and what I feel she's really the driving force behind this. You know, my wife always wanted to have a cafe and a sit-down place, and it wasn't really what I saw, but you know, I think that she had a really, really beautiful vision, and you know, coupled with my passion for health, you know, I think we've really met at a nice little place in the middle.
And that's how you created your niche, is because she wanted to serve food, you wanted to help people become healthy through food. And so I think it's just a perfect combination. So anything new on the horizon?
Yes, we're going to start serving food soon. We're going to start serving breakfasts and lunches. You know, each day we're going to have a soup, a salad, and a sandwich at the place, and we're going to start serving some oatmeals and a couple other things for breakfast.
Okay, so it is continuing to grow and,
Yeah.
and develop. Well, welcome to our Lafayette business community.
Thank
We
you.
are proud to have you, and I'm excited about what you're doing, you know, partly because it's just always good to have new restaurants and new bakeries, but to be conscientious of our bodies and of our planet is really a great thing. So I thank you for that work too. And
Thank you
anything
for
you want to
having me
add
here.
in the last 2
Uh,
seconds?
nous sommes bilingues au La Patisserie. You can come in, you can order totally in French and it'll be A-okay. You know, we're very big proponents of the French culture and, you know, the Cajun and the Louisiana culture. So y'all come on by
And join us. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Nathan. Well, good to have you here, and thank you for watching The Extra Mile.